Hello everyone to a new video on the Business Intelligence channel. Today we are looking at how to connect to SQL Server using SQL Server Management Studio and their differences. Before we start, please subscribe to this channel to support knowledge transfer of business intelligence and data warehousing. I really appreciate every single subscriber. Now, let's start now with downloading SQL Server Management Studio. I posted the link for downloading SQL Server Management Studio below this video, and as you can see, you can download the latest version from this website from Microsoft. After you installed the SQL Server Management Studio, you can start it now, and it will look something like this. In this application, you have the option to connect to different services, for example, to the database engine, to the analysis services, or integration services, or reporting services. We are interested in connecting to the database engine and get the following window. In this window, we can choose the server type, which is prefixed to database engine. Next, we have to type into the server name. If you install the SQL Server on your local machine, then it's localhost, or you can also type in 172.0.0.1, which also translates to localhost. If the SQL Server is installed on a different server in your company, then you have to ask the database administrator what IP address you have to type. So in this example, I use the localhost, and next you can choose which authentication you want to use. If you have installed the SQL Server in mixed mode, you can choose between the Windows authentication or the SQL Server authentication. I'll choose Windows authentication and click Connect. And now the SQL Server Management Studio will connect to the server. I'm now connected to the SQL Server, and as we can see, I have a list of all installed databases, which are in this case the AdventureWorks, and each of these databases contains lots of tables and other database objects like SQL views, procedures, function, and so on. For example, we can have a look on one table. For example, this table contains data about individual persons, and as you can see, we are now retrieving data from the SQL Server. So next point would be, what is the difference between the SQL Server Management Studio and the SQL Server? I prepared this slide, which basically sums up what is the difference between the SQL Server and the SQL Server Management Studio. So to understand, the SQL Server Management Studio is an application and is a client tool which the individual developers or database administrator is using for connecting to the SQL Server. So that means the SQL Server Management Studio, the application, is not a SQL Server. So now with this guideline, you should hopefully connect to the SQL Server. And if you have any questions, ask me anything in the comment section. I will try to answer you, and hopefully we see each other on the next video. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you soon. Bye bye.